What's going on, guys? TTL here. Today I'm going to be going over my top 5 MLB bets. I felt so good about yesterday, man, and it just completely went sideways. Like, we had one of my top picks of the day was Garrett Whitlock. He either got 1 or 2 Ks in the first inning, then got injured, immediately taken out. And as soon as I saw that happen, that was like the first play I had of the day. As soon as that happened, I was like, this MLB board, I was so confident it is going to turn out crappy. And we went, I believe it was 1 for 5 on our free MLB picks. Or 2 for 5, 1 for 5, something like that. It was just a bad day, guys. So I'm sorry, but I was so confident. We profited overall yesterday on in the VIP just because League of Legends almost swept. Like, we killed League of Legends. But, I mean, MLB was terrible. So let's bounce back with our MLB today. I do feel pretty comfortable with a lot of these picks, but I do wish Keller was on the board, but he isn't currently. It is already 9:30 in the morning, so I didn't want to wait any longer. So just wanted to go ahead and get this uploaded for you guys. But my top pick of the day is Tyler Wells over 5.5 strikeouts. He is versus the Yankees today. He's gone over this in 4 of his last 5 games in a row. We can see the Yankees are 7th out of 30th in the league for strikeouts per game, averaging just over 8 strikeouts per game. And Tyler Wells has around minus 120 odds to go over 5.5. He's hit this in 8 of his last 10, 4 of his last 5, and in 2023 he has gone over this number in 67% of his games, so 2 out of 3. And when we take a look at his batter stats, are you able to see that? You guys are able to see that. Nice. So when we take a look at his batter stats versus Wells, they strike out a ton versus Tyler Wells, man. 50%, 50%, 31%, 60%, 100%, 100%, 35, 25, 25. As long as Wells can stay 6 innings as he should, and as long as the Yankees aren't scoring a ton of runs, he should easily go over this number, especially with how well he normally does versus these Yankees batters. So I'm locking this as one of my top picks of the day. Absolutely love Tyler Wells today. And real quick before we get into that second pick of the day, if you're interested in joining that VIP that I mentioned earlier, go to the Patreon link in the description and in the comments down below. It's only $20 a month. Really easy to make that back in premium, guys. You guys can make that back in just 1 day. You get all of my complete Prize Picks, Underdog, and Sleeper slips. I also have a prop list that I do now, but that's just to keep track of how many props we hit or miss each day. I do give complete slips. You also get sportsbook bets for THUNDERPICK, who are the sponsor of this video right above the camera. And if you sign up to THUNDERPICK and make your first deposit, by the way, you get a month free of premium. So just deposit $25 or more. Send me a DM on Discord and I'll get that month free for you. But we have VIP only live streams, VIP watch parties, the whole 9 yards, VIP only giveaways. I mean, it's just a fun time. So make sure to go ahead and join that. And let's get back into these picks. But I also really love Braxton Garrett over 5 strikeouts versus the Cardinals. The Cardinals are 10th out of 30th on most strikeouts per game. They average 7 to 8 strikeouts per game, over 8 on the season. Last 3, they're averaging 7 strikeouts a game. When we take a look at Braxton Garrett, we can change it to over 4.5 because all he has to do is get 5. As long as we push, I'm happy. And Braxton Garrett has pushed or went over in 2 out of 3 of his games this year, so 67%. He's went over in 8 out of his last 10, 4 of his last 5. He's been a monster. Out of his last 20, he has a 60% hit rate. And when we take a look at their batters versus him, we can see a lot of them haven't faced off versus him yet. But the short list that have do strike out, like Donovan has a 50% K rate, Goldschmidt has a 25%. And when we take a look at left-handed pitchers, a lot of the batters do worse against left-handed pitchers compared to right-handed. So I do love this matchup for him. And I'm taking his over with confidence versus the Cardinals. I expect him to get 7 or 8 strikeouts today. So I do love this over. Next, I love Martin Perez over 3 strikeouts. This is at 3.5 on Sleeper. He is versus Houston, but he's pushed or went over in 3 of his last 5. And when we take a look at his over 2.5, we can see it's minus 235 odds for him to at least push this line. He's went over in 75% of his games for 2023 so far. The short amount of times that he's went over, the 4 times he's went under, was versus the Yankees. He got 2, the Angels he got 2, the Rays he got 2, and the White Sox he's got 2. He hasn't went below 2 strikeouts all year this year. And not only that, Houston tend to strike out quite a bit versus left-handed pitchers. And he only needs 3 guys. He literally only needs 3 strikeouts to push this line. So I do love this number, and I'm taking this over with confidence as well. Next, we have Logan Webb over 5.5 strikeouts versus the Mariners. The Mariners are 29th out of 30th. They're averaging almost double-digit strikeouts per game this season. And Logan Webb has been doing great this season. So I will say recently he's been doing bad. Not bad, but he's hooked this line 3 times in a row. Now, to be fair, these were versus good teams. He was versus the Diamondbacks, who are 3rd, Toronto, who are 6th, and then the Dodgers, who are like middle of the pack, 19th. But I do love this pick today. Over the last 10, he did hit in 5 of those last 10. So the 5 before the last 5, he went 4 out of 5. On the season, he's hitting at around 59-60%. And when we take a look at Seattle versus Logan Webb, there's not many batters that have faced him, but the few that have, 4 of them have a worse K rate than normal, with almost a 33% K rate. Suarez has a 50% K rate versus Webb. And versus right-handed pitchers, it's kind of 50-50. Some of them do better, some of them do worse, but a lot of them have over a 30% K rate. D. Moore has almost 60% K rate versus right-handed pitchers. So I do love this today, and I'm taking that with confidence as well. And then my last free pick of the day would be Bryan Woo on the opposing team, the opposite team, versus the Giants. He's went over in 3 of his last 5. The Giants are terrible at striking out as well, 28th of 30th, averaging 10 strikeouts per game over their last 3. They had 13 strikeouts in their last game, and they averaged just under 10 per game on the season. And when we take a look at Bryan Woo, the over 5.5 is minus 100 odds, minus 101. And this season, he's only played 5 games. He's went over that number 3 times, under it twice. He's had minimum 4 strikeouts. That was versus the Rangers, and there were actually 16 runs for the Rangers in that game. And then for this versus the Yankees, he got 5. So versus the Angels, 7, White Sox 9, Washington, who are number 1 on the list of least strikeouts per game, he got 7 strikeouts versus them. And when we take a look at the Giants versus right-handed pitchers, a lot of them have 25, 30+% K rates. And I think this is a great matchup for him to like really prove himself today. And I am taking this over with confidence. So these are my top 5 of the day. Again, let's bounce back, guys. Let's kill it today. And hopefully I'll see you guys in the Discord. Make sure to join that Patreon, guys. Get these slips in. And I'll see you guys next video.